Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Paranormal News. Today's article comes from ilovetheuniverse.com, and the headline is See the Most Detailed Picture of the Sun's Surface Ever Taken. This is a really cool article. It was written by Ignat, because this picture is really, really neat, and I'll show you that here in a minute. A new solar telescope in Hawaii has taken its first photo and video of the sun. The images are the highest resolution views of our star ever taken, revealing details on the sun's surface as small as 18 miles across. The Daniel K. Inouye Solar Telescope is located on Maui's Halikala volcano, the largest solar telescope on Earth with a primary mirror that is 4 meters, about 13 feet wide. Will be able to resolve smaller details on the sun than ever before. Scientists hope to better understand the remaining mysteries about our nearest star, thanks to the telescope's sophisticated instruments and high resolution. A bubbling star. Plasma cells on the sun's surface are visible as a grainy pattern in the telescope's first light image. In a process known as convection, hot plasma from within the sun rises to the surface, cools and sinks back down, similar to bubbling water in a boiling pot. And here is the photograph from the telescope of the surface of the sun. That is pretty amazing looking, isn't it? It looks almost like granola or like popcorn kernels or something. But that is what the surface of the sun looks like. The brighter areas in the photo are where new plasma has just risen up from below, while the darker areas are where cooler plasma sinks back down. In this first image from the telescope, the grains are about the size of Texas. So each one of those little grains in the photograph are each the size of Texas. Some of the greatest remaining mysteries about our star are linked to the bubbling motion of hot plasma in the sun. Because plasma is electrically charged, its motions can create magnetic fields. Many of the sun's most dynamic behaviors, such as solar storms that can disrupt satellites and power grids on Earth, are caused by its magnetic fields. According to Rebecca Centano-Elliott, a solar scientist at the National Center for Atmospheric Research, most solar storms originate in places on the sun where there is strong magnetism, strong concentrations of magnetic forces. Magnetic mysteries. Researchers may be able to better predict when potentially dangerous solar storms will occur, when they can better understand and monitor magnetic fields of the sun. Many of the telescope's instruments are well suited to studying magnetic fields, because they can measure light properties other than brightness and color that contain information about magnetic forces in the sun's atmosphere. Furthermore, the telescope's ability to capture more minute details on the sun's surface than ever before will help scientists in testing theories about the sun's workings that had previously eluded observation. This is a huge leap for our field, I think, in terms of observations, says Centano-Elliott. And that is the end of this article. Now this one, to me, was extraordinarily cool because it had that photograph, which is the best ever and most detailed ever photograph of the surface of the sun, which I think is very, very interesting. And the idea that what we're looking at in that photograph, and I'm putting that photograph back on the screen, so if you're watching this right now, you should be seeing that photograph if I remember to do it correctly. But to know that what we're looking at in this photograph is plasma, and that the lighter areas of this photograph is where the plasma has bubbled up from the surface, and in the darker areas is where the plasma is cooling. So what we're looking at here, even though it looks like a chunk of granola or something, we're looking at almost like the inside of a volcano. It's kind of almost the same thing. You've got molten plasma coming up and bubbling up and cooling. And just imagine how insanely hot and how insanely chaotic and just badass that place is. It's like an inferno constantly erupting and stuff. It's just really, really cool. And to think that we are getting to look at something that there's absolutely no way we could travel there and look at, because we would be melted into oblivion long before we got there. So the fact that we can sit here and look at this picture and see what the surface of the sun looks like is pretty damn cool. And the article said that each one of these little kernels is the size of Texas. So each one of these little things here is the size of the state of Texas. That's pretty amazing, because Texas is a gigantic state. So just think about the amount of space that we're looking at in this small little photograph here. It takes like a couple days to drive all the way across Texas. Texas is huge. So each one of these little kernels, if you try to drive across it, going like a normal speed, like 55, 60 miles an hour or whatever, it would take you a day or two to travel all the way across each one of these little kernels. So we're looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of miles here of the sun's surface. That is amazing. I would like to see a photograph, if we could ever get one, that is zoomed in even further so that we see each one of these little kernels is the size of the entire photograph. That would be super cool, so we could see what they really, really look like up close. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I saw this article and I wanted to bring it to you because I wanted you to be able to see the greatest photograph ever taken of the sun. I mean, that's pretty amazing to me. And I'm a big nerd and a geek when it comes to this kind of stuff. I love space. I love all of this. So to be able to see this photograph is something really special to me. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comments, and let me know what you thought of the picture of the sun and what you think it looks like. And as always, thank you all for hanging out with me and watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Till I speak to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.